Shabbat Shalom. So it's Friday afternoon, and Sabbath will be here. Sun goes down. Oh, boys, I'm really missing you guys today. I love you guys. For you guys who don't know, I make this video for my sons that I don't get to see very often. And and so I've been talking a little bit about myself, and so my kids know a little bit about me. And I left off, I was joining the Army, and one thing I forgot to mention was that I dropped out of high school, and to join the military, I took the GED, and actually my dad and his wife, their neighbor was a tutor, and they kind of tutored me a little bit. Or she did, the teacher next door to them tutored me a little bit for the GED. And anyway, so I went down to Los Angeles to the military processing station, which actually was in a portable location in some portable buildings off La Brea and Rodeo. I actually lived there for about a year. I lived in that area, but that's where the riots were, and it's where they burnt down at Crenshaw area, Martin Luther King and Crenshaw. It's actually where I lived for a little while, not during the riots. But the MEPS had burnt down, and that's why it was in a portable building. And I went to join, and I wanted to go in as a diesel mechanic, but I had a blister on my heel, and I had to renegotiate my contract because they didn't have it. I ended up kind of getting pressured, and went as a truck driver. And I remember the night I was leaving, they put us up in the Westin Bonner downtown Los Angeles, which is a nice hotel, and there's been some movies made there. And I left October 31st, 1996. So it was Halloween over 20 years ago now. And got to basic training in Fort Leonard Wood. We called it Fort Lost in the Woods. It's in the Ozark Mountains in Missouri. And that was a good experience. Gas chamber and learning how to shoot in the military. Well, I learned to shoot before I got in the military, but they have their own marksmanship course. And anyway, so I also did my truck driver training there also. And I got sent to Fort Stewart, Georgia. Oh, wow. Lived in the barracks there for a year. Fort Stewart, Georgia. Hinesville, Georgia. Not far from Savannah, Georgia. There was another military base there. Savannah, Georgia is beautiful. We spent a lot of time the weekends up there. Cobblestone roads, and it was actually, it's one of the oldest cities in the country. Didn't get burnt down during the Civil War, so during the Civil War, and during war, it's a common practice after a city is taken over, they burn it down. And Savannah actually was not burned down because the mayor pleaded with the Northern General, it was a beautiful city, don't burn it down. And it's a port city, actually. Cobblestone roads that are there. Some of the rocks are round, and some of them are symmetrical shape. And the cargo ships that would come in would use the rocks that became the roads. They made roads out of them as ballast for the ships, and the round ones were for the commercial ships, and the more symmetrical square and rectangular ones were the ones the Navy used for ballast, that they had to be a little more precise, as far as their measurements and weights went. And Savannah, so we used to drink a lot. In the South, they drink a lot, and we had a good time down there. I was young. Matter of fact, first time leave came up where they allow you to go on like a little vacation in the military. A buddy and I, on the fly, rented this wreck of a car and drove it down to Florida Keys. And we didn't have any money. We drove it down to all the way down to Key West. I remember it's pretty down there. Actually, I'm in Florida now, not in the Keys, but I remember swimming. There was this barracuda. This thing was about as big around as my thigh, and I'm a pretty big guy. And I remember it was kind of territorial and was eyeballing me and was coming up on me. And the locals all knew this barracuda. It even had a name. But anyway, we didn't have a lot of money. We slept in the car. We were driving back up, and we stopped off in Miami and got a hotel on the wrong side of town, and we hung out in South Beach, and we had a good time. We got back to the motel after having a good time, and some girls came by, and make a long story short, in the morning, we had planned on getting home gas and food, last $100 or whatever it was that my buddy had with him, Greg, and we stopped off to get breakfast, and he opened up his wallet and it was empty, and those girls robbed us. And we got as far as Jacksonville, Florida before we ran out of gas. And again, my stepmom came through for me. I called my dad, and he was, again, it was his weekend for drill. Talked to my stepmom, and I didn't tell her what happened. I fibbed, and I said that I needed money and I don't remember, books or something. But anyway, she wired me money again, and it was a lifesaver because we needed that money to get back to the base, and if we hadn't gotten back to the base, we probably would have gotten in some trouble. And one thing the military and the Army's real big on is being where you're supposed to be on time. And that Rent-A-Wreck barely made it back to Hinesville, Georgia. I remember that it was smoking and the belts were screeching, and I guess that's where I'm going to leave off for today. And boys, I love you guys. And, I will, I'll try giving you a call again tonight, and I'll talk to you later.